four-page preliminary report sheds light on what could have gone wrong. Channel 3's Courtney Zeller is breaking down that report. And Courtney, there were 2 red flags from aviation experts.
Well, that's right, Denise. We talked to a pilot who has more than 37 years of flying experience. He says those red flags, the type of fuel used and possibly engine failure. Now, he says he wants to know a lot more. A horrific scene of a Boeing B-17 plane that crashed into pieces, making most of it unrecognizable. It crashed 3 minutes after taking flight.
I would argue that the pilots did everything correctly. At least that's what it seems from this initial report. There was communication, the weather was fine, it wasn't a weather issue. So you're kind of focusing down on what's important now.
The 4-page preliminary report shows one of the pilots called air traffic control, saying there was a problem. The air traffic controller said the flight needed an immediate landing. This after the pilot told them the airplane had a rough mag on the number 4 engine.
So the question now becomes, why did this plane, with one engine failing, not able to keep altitude, stay up, and land short of the runway? And I think that's what's going to be the focus of the investigation by the NTSB now.
Dr. Michael Tiger has been flying for 37 years. He says pilots are trained for this.
We assume that engine number 4 failed, the propellers were feathered properly, and this is what qualified pilots would do. If you have a failed engine, you're flying on 3 engines, the aircraft theoretically should be manageable and be able to make it back to the runway.
He also noticed low-octane fuel was put into the aircraft. He says these planes, which are used to flying on 2 engines, usually use a higher-grade fuel.
So now I'm wondering, is there something about the fuel that may not have given this plane enough power with 3 engines, having lost one, to be able to maintain flight?
The plane was inspected in January of this year. It's owned by Collings Foundation out of Massachusetts. 7 people died, including the 2 pilots and 5 passengers who paid for the flight tour. The company has now suspended flights. They made a YouTube video taking you into the bomber.
We're going to be strapped in here in the radio operator's compartment.
Experts believe we will learn more once the full report is released in 6 months to 1 year.
The plane was handled as well as could have been handled, I think, and there probably were no pilot error mistakes, we hope, but there probably weren't that caused this airplane to crash. It would have been something.
And U.S. Senator Richard Blumenthal spoke about the report today. He is calling on more regulations for flights like these. And of course, once we get details on that report, we will bring that information to you right away. We are live at the mobile newsroom from Bradley International Airport. Courtney Zeller, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, thank you, Courtney. We have expanded coverage of the B-17 crash on the Channel 3 app. There you can read the entire preliminary report from the NTSB and also watch previous stories.
A woman